Hey, what's up, guys? BK. So this is post Sema. First of all, I'd like to say I really appreciate everyone that came out and check out the car. Had a bunch of questions. We hope to answer most of them in this video. Kind of just overall give you guys an experience, but it's just like the EK. It's kind of cool that we're in a GSR, but it's just completely different compared to a B series. So Lewis is currently driving. One of the first questions that we got was relative to the cluster. So Lewis, feel free to talk how that works.
Well, here's a bigger question. I don't know why, but apparently nobody thinks that the car was driving. And like there was like somebody like going and saying that car had a bunch of issues and I don't know what, and like that nothing worked and it was just all a concept. And I'm like, why would we build a car that didn't work? And first of all, this is not even the first one. This is like the fucking fourth or fifth one already. That's already L15 swap that we've done. So luckily JDI figured out the cluster. And as you can see, we have RPM, we have the speed working, we have the gauge for the gas. Currently, the only thing that isn't working yet is the coolant temp. It's because this is analog, and basically the engine itself, the brand new L15 is CAN-bus. So there's no way for it to communicate with this yet. But that's something we're trying to figure out by like next week. But it's a simple fix that we have to do, but I just haven't had a chance to get around to it. Like I said, we just got back from Sema, and I don't know why. People just don't think that it even moves, which is weird because I'm pretty sure we posted a video that we drove it in and out of Sema.
Yeah, so our buddy Kevster, he did post a video on his page, but again, it's just like anything, he said, she said with the internet. But no, the car's completely functional.
Clock works.
The clock works.
No, you guys don't have a working clock.
But yeah, everything's OEM. The heater still works. The windows.
Yeah,
Like windows work.
Like the turn signals, the lights, like the emergency. Wow.
Oh man, see, and that's something that, you know, the EK's in the work is we're gonna fix that as well. But again, that was the prototype car. But this is the fully functional. And again, we're driving currently in the streets of California, so it's not like we're in buck nowhere. It's straight up traffic out right now.
The RPM works like crazy. Like
and maybe for you guys it's whatever, because you guys got a B series, K series, whatever. But with me driving the EK, it was a function that I realized like I really needed or wanted, because it's just weird to drive a car with no RPMs working.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that the RPMs, everything works. So it's not like we're gimmicking it. We did have during Sema an AEM gauge in the vehicle. So shout out to them. They sponsored us with that, and we just wanted to show it off.
We're trying to get this to work for everybody who's not gonna be able to spend $1,600 on a gauge.
Yeah. So
because that gauge is pretty pricey, to be honest, and like, I mean, I like the analog.
Yeah, I did too. The old school.
Especially like in this chassis, like I feel like it's way more needed. And then eventually, like an S2000 conversion would be nice. You know?
Like an S2K cluster. Yeah. Please explain to them what an L15 is and where it comes from, because people keep saying it's a Honda Fit engine.
Yeah, so that's another big misconception. So the engine that we have in this car is not a L15 from a Fit. So the Fit, I think, was made between the one that has that specific motor is like the 2006 to 2015, which is like the second and third gen Fits. I could be wrong on the years, but it's roughly those two generations that came with the 1.5 non-turbo. So this engine comes out of a 2018 Honda Civic Si. So that's 2017 and up Honda Civic. And this is a 1.5 turbo from the factory. Compared to the Honda Fit, was it just a 1.5, which would be comparison to like a modern D series. That's what I would compare that to. Engine is different. The way the manifold is set up is different. The
parts are not interchangeable.
No, they're not interchangeable at all.
It's two different motors. It's not like K20, K24.
Yeah,
the Fit
L15. It's like having a K24 and then having an R18. it's like completely different motor. Like there's no comparison.
Yeah, I think that's the best explanation.
Like for those people that understand those years, it's like having that R18 and that EM2, and then having a EP3 K20. Like it's a completely different engine. Like, there's no comparison. And on top of that, they're different platforms. The fifth platform it's a smaller car. It's literally made for fuel economy. Like that's all it's made for. It gets like 40 something to the gallon. And this car that we took it out of is like an SI. So this is actually like the sport integrated, Civic or whatever. But this does come with a 6-speed. This does have LSD. This already has, the turbo from the factory. This one, because it's going to be carb legal, it's completely stock. So we took it back to the dyno after SEMA, and we lowered back to like a carb calibration. And because we are going to track it, we don't want crazy amount of power and crazy amount of torque, especially since we're trying to figure out the car. So we ended up keeping the car around 220 torque and 220 horsepower. So we kind of evened it out as much as possible. And I'll post that video on this. I'll post a clip of the car in the dyno for those people that aren't going to believe that it actually drove to the dyno and everything. But yeah, I think on the actual swap, like since I reset the cluster, I already have 500 miles.
Oh, the odometer works?
Yeah, the odometer does work.
I mean the miles?
Yeah, the tach and the odometer.
Oh, that's really cool.
So currently I already have 500 miles. That's since I reset it. That was like
since SEMA, I already
put 500 miles. Additional to the 3,000 miles that I put before SEMA.
Right. So this isn't just some trailer queen or just a for car show. This is meant to be driven on the streets daily. And talking about daily wise, so how does it feel compared to like I know you've had an EP3 and a Tension SI. How does this feel compared to a Tension SI?
It feels like you obviously don't have the creature comforts of a new car. Like you don't have like the screen and
it's a lot louder.
Well, no, because remember I had a.
Well, I'm talking about more like a typical entry level Tension SI, not like not like a full on race car like you.
Yeah, so like regular Tension, I mean, it's a lot softer driving. There's a lot less like vibration because this has Hasper mounts and all that stuff. Like it's cool, but why was that guy flashing his lights at me?
I don't know. Maybe he likes your car.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, besides that, everything else, it drives exactly like a SI. It's kind of weird.
Like the shifting points.
Yeah, because obviously we have the Acuity shifter and all that. I don't know if you can see that on camera. It's literally the same exact thing. I get some people telling me like, oh, I don't like the shifter that's so high. But on the Tension, this is where it is. Like it's actually this tall.
I mean, on at least in the EK, I don't feel it so high. But then again, I'm running the stock one, the stock FKE shifter, which was another question people were asking is what shifter are you running?
So this is the Acuity, like their upgraded billet one, I guess, or mechanical one.
What is this truck doing?
I have no idea what's happening here. Yeah, so we just jumped on the freeway. We are currently going around 40 miles an hour. I have no idea what this guy's pushing.
Yeah, it's not like you cut him off because this is the only lane, but I would say it definitely drives a lot better than the Civic.
Yeah, because the Civic, when we built it, we were designing it specifically to track it. That's why it has all those spherical bushings and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, right now we're cruising around like 65 miles an hour on the slow lane, and you can't really feel anything. It feels like a regular Integra.
It feels like a regular Integra.
Why is this guy on my ass? All right.
Off the sunroof.
Yeah, the sunroof is deleted, so it is gonna get a lot noisier. But I mean, overall, the car itself is pretty smooth. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know why people think it's like a fit motor, but I'm gonna just say that's just like lack of like knowledge from the community. And that was another thing we learned is
So not only did people think it was a fit, a lot of people thought the L15 swap was a Type R engine. So right away it lets us know 50% of the people that looked at this car,
They didn't know what
they didn't even know what they were looking at until we had a big poster next to the car. That's when they realized, like, oh, okay, this is the L15, which everyone's probably confused. They're like, I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know why no one read the poster. Like,
but yeah, guys, it's fully functional, drives really well. This is actually my first time in the passenger seat, and so far, I mean, I'm loving it. It sounds different compared to the EK. Kind of sounds like a B series at that point.
yeah, so right here we're just kind of going into a corner. I mean, we got coilovers and like arms,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So. For tracking, I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great, you know.
I think it drives really great, guys. I really wish I could explain on the video, but whatever words I say, it's not gonna help. But it definitely sounds pretty cool. And if he's not on turbo, I think it sounds like a B series on non-B. That's
like,
not
like a stock.
yeah. It sounds like a B series. That's, you know, instead of VTEC crossover, you have turbo noises, right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the turbo noise could be a lot louder, but because we have the stock intake box and the stock inlet, like, you can't hear anything.
Yeah, the Civic is way louder, but I mean, that's just a quick fix with the intake filter.
This is just a setup we have on this.
Yeah.
I mean, what other questions did we see before we?
I mean, overall, can someone do it at home?
Yeah, if you can do a case swap, you can do this. It's not really that big.
Right, so it's pretty similar to doing the case swap. We did open the head to put the group and garage head studs, but besides that, I mean, it's plug and play. You know, being the 4th, 5th iteration, you know, it's pretty reasonable and quick for us, just like a case swap. But I mean, it's all plug and play, no crazy fabrication. Last question everyone wants to know is, how much does it cost?
I would say, like, parts alone, you're gonna spend like $12K. That's being like realistic.
Yeah.
Now, if you got hookups and all that stuff, then
that's with including some upgraded parts. But again, that it could probably be cheaper by a few hundreds or so if you want to save yourself by doing a non-SI engine and a non-SI transmission. But that's a whole different discussion.
But yeah, I mean, just hoping you guys can see, like, the car is fully functional and it's driving. We're driving it right now. I know it's a little dark, but like, the time change kind of messed up this video. But yeah, we just been driving for the last 15 minutes.
Yep.
And as you can tell, like, you can't really, like.
Yeah.
So what I'll do next is I'll do like a little pull for you guys. I can downshift. Right now we're on like the 4th gear. We'll do like a 3rd gear pull. So we usually shift around 6,000. And right there, we're already, like, in one pull, we already hit around like 90 miles an hour. So,
I can't even tell you're going 90.
yeah, it feels pretty smooth, right?
It feels pretty. Well, it helps with the nice road, but yeah. I mean, you have the Lexus right next to us as a comparison.
Yeah, right now we're cruising at 80. So we're not really like stressing the engine.
And you're at 3,000 RPM. So I know with you B series guys,
yeah, you
at 80, you're about 4,000, 4,500.
I'm 5th gear, you know?
Yeah, on 5th gear.
We do have an overdrive, so that helps, but I mean, you can't beat. Like, if you're around like 2,800 RPM, like you're getting around like 45 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing. So Luis, like you said, he's put about 3,500 miles now, and he's getting an average about
around 400 to the full tank.
Getting about 40 miles, 45 miles per gallon. Again, just depends how you drive it. If you want to drive it like you stole it, maybe you'll get 30, but I mean 30 is still pretty good. Yeah, so.
Especially nowadays, you know. K-swap, forget it, you know, yeah. And then the torque is just there. efficient just driving it. Just driving it is, and like, you know, now we're about 20 minutes into the drive, and yeah, I mean, we made it. No issues. We went all the way across town.
Were you not sure you're gonna not make it, or what?
No, because apparently people think it doesn't drive. So I'm like, we trailered it.
I know. We trailered it to go get lunch right now. We're actually on a trailer right now, guys. Yep. We're on a trailer.
This is all a green screen.
Yeah, it's a big old green screen. There's actually a. We got John Cena's trailer towing us around right now.
So, I mean, yeah, that was the biggest questions we got.
If you guys have any more comments or questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. We'll cut it here. We'll have a separate video of all the failures or the weak points of this motor, which, you know, every motor does have. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Catch you guys next time. Peace. Bye, guys.